All right. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, and today we're talking about something that, I sometimes I sometimes happen to say, I really didn't know if I was going to talk about this or not, and this, that, and the other thing. But today we're talking about something that I didn't even, look, I've been looking forward to this for years, and I know I am not even close to being the only one who thinks this. But I've been waiting for Y the Last Man for a long time. I did a video like over a year ago talking about the three most anticipated shows to talk about that I was waiting for. One was Invincible, which we got, and then we got Snowpiercer, which, yeah, I mean, if you like Snowpiercer, great. And then this just kind of kept dropping off the map. This just kept getting held up and held up and held up and whatever. And all of a sudden, I just stopped paying attention. And I woke up and I turned on Hulu. No, I didn't even turn on Hulu. I went to my PlayStation menu and I saw Y the Last Man Hulu symbol there. And I went, huh? We're talking 5 o'clock in the morning, and I click over, and there it is. Y the Last Man. The first 3 episodes have dropped on Hulu. And I've got to go to work all day. So, we're talking about Y the Last Man today. Season 1, Episode 1. It's called The Day Before, and if you're liking what we're doing on the channel here, please don't forget to hit the like button. More importantly, become a subscriber if you're not a subscriber. Come join the conversation here on Smirking Gun Reviews. If you're new, then welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. How you doing? Okay. Seriously, you guys. I have been waiting to hear the story of Yorick told in television form or film form or animated form. I don't care what form, for so long. Y the Last Man, written by Brian K. Vaughan, the same guy who, I have the trades. This was before I was into single issues and trying to find Y the Last Man was hard. I don't even have the original trade of this because somebody liked it so much they stole it from me and I forgot to replace it. Brian K. Vaughan is one of my favorite comic book writers. He also does Saga, one of the best books out there that has been on a long hiatus ever since its cliffhanger 52nd issue, like over a year ago. So this guy is one of my faves. He's also was like, he helped on the show Lost. One of the funniest Easter eggs on Lost is that way back in season 1, I believe, Hurley was reading one of the Y the Last Man comics. That's how old this goes back. And so it just is really exciting. So if you don't know what Y the Last Man is, right? Before we get into spoilers, we just want to know what the story is. Well, every man on the planet dies suddenly. Everybody with the Y chromosome dies. Except for this guy, Yorick, and his monkey, Ampersand. They're the only two men left alive. The world is now solely occupied by women. And it's how this kind of doofus, right, traverses his way through this new world that some want him dead. Some want to praise him. It's, being the last man on Earth, it's a really great concept. We had that show, The Last Man on Earth, that, quickly found out he really isn't the last man on Earth, but it was pretty funny. But the whole, concept of, I wouldn't date you if you're the last man on Earth and things like that. But what if you were the last man on Earth? And what if the last man on Earth was kind of a dumbass? Because he's not a perfect character. He's not this guy that oh yeah, great. It's great that how Brian K. Vaughan created this character to just be a guy. He's just some dude. He's not special. The only thing that's special is trying to figure out why didn't he die and why didn't his monkey die. He's his little, what is it, Capuchin? I can't say those names. So Another thing about this that what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to distance myself almost completely from the comic. I'm gonna try to talk about this just as a show and use some of my knowledge as just kind of a base, because I think I'll be able to enjoy it more if I don't get too bogged down in, well, this isn't right, and why is this character not this like this now? Because there is going to be, and they've probably already come out of the woodwork, right? They have probably already come out of the woodwork to spread their dissatisfaction with this, especially because this is coming out now. And we have all those butthurt men out there who that are on YouTube that support this kind of anti-feminine movement that's out there. I don't even know if I just said that right. There's a lot of YouTube channels that lately that are making a lot of content that just go after anything that's pro-feminine, and they see as an attack on all men. Channels like Nerdrotic and Geeks and Gamers and the Overlord DVD and the Quartering and the Critical Drinker and all these guys who have problems with what they call the whammon. So I'm waiting for them to all come out of this, because the timing of a show where it's all women and all the men are dead is going to be fodder for these fucks who are going to try to say that this, that, and the other thing when, they know the book. This book came out a long ass time ago. This isn't something that was written yesterday by some, somebody that they could say did it on purpose. Is written by a man, but they're still going to try to run this story. You watch. If it is, I didn't look any of this up, but you watch and look it up. You're going to find a bunch of dicks, literally, dicks with dicks, who are going to try to say how awful this show is and that this is just going to further a whole bunch of, we're just going to set men back like 100 years. Instead of just watching the show, because I guarantee you, a lot of those motherfuckers that are going to come down on this show actually like it, because they liked the comic, and they just won't say it to you because it doesn't fit the narrative that they want to keep selling you. So that's my spiel on that bit of it. All right. So let's talk about Y: The Last Man and why I love it and why I really dug this first episode. All right. First things first, they got him, they put him in the mask. They put him with the monkey. I was wondering how they were going to do it. And I really like what they did with Ampersand. I think he looks fine. I don't know if they're using all CG or if it's also like a mix of practical and CG. But I loved the beginning. It took me right back to that first issue. Looking around, and from the very, almost the very first scene, right? The first scene, we see kind of like what I see as Yorick, which is he's the last man on Earth, and he takes a lot of stupid risks. He's not always like the brightest bulb in the box. A helicopter falls from a roof and almost crushes the monkey, and he heroically, wants to save the monkey, but being the last man on Earth, he doesn't even get, I don't know. You'll see over the course of this series that he continuously puts himself in pretty bad harm's way. And I, as I was reading the book myself, I was finding myself going, God, stop trying to get yourself killed. But in that respect, he's a good enough guy. He means well, but he's also very flawed. And he's played, look, I'll just say it up front. A lot of these people are not who I would see, when I think of the comic book. No, not everybody looks the way I would want them to. Not even Yorick. Not Beth. But most of this is. Olivia Thirlby as Hero perfect choice. Diane freaking Lane as his mother, Senator Jennifer Brown. I am so happy that they got somebody of the caliber as Diane Lane. I really dug Amber Tamblyn in this as the what's her name here, Kimberly, the pro man against cancel culture girl who, boy, does she play this great. Another great casting is Ashley Romans as Agent 355. I like her a lot. I like the whole situation with her and the where she's making bombs. And Agent 355 was in the book was always a real, I don't know, she was a real trip. And you kind of never knew, in my opinion, what was going to happen with her, like this character. She was a very they did a lot of really spontaneous things with her character, I feel. And what they did with her in this first episode I thought was really great, where she's making the bombs. And we're talking spoilers, folks, so if you have not seen this, like, here we are. We're going to start talking about things. Where she's building a bomb for this guy. And, I mean, I knew it was her. And I'm like, okay, so what's this angle? You know, and she's like, she doesn't get to take the credit for making the bomb. And then she leaves when the guys get there to buy the bomb. And I was just thinking, oh, well, they're going to kill that guy. And then they're going to, you know, just leave, you know, they're going to take the bomb and kill the guy. But no, that's not what happens at all. She leaves. She was jogging down the road. She blows up the bomb. She kills the guy who was selling it for her, with her. And she blew up the guys who were going to buy it. So she was infiltrated. She had infiltrated undercover a group of people who were planning some domestic terrorism, and she took them out. That is Agent 355 shit all over it. So let's see what else we got about the casting in this episode. I mean, those are really the big players. We got Marin Ireland, who's in this, who I really liked on Sneaky Pete. The rest of the characters, not everybody is in this episode, but Ben Schnetzer as Yorick. All right, let's talk about our main character, Ben, played by Ben Schnetzer. Yorick and I guess, I said I was going to stay away from the books, but I got to at least talk about it. Yorick is like this amateur, like, escape artist, which he is in the show. Thank God they didn't change, you know, too many things about him. And he is just that kind of, I can relate to this guy. Struggling to pay his bills, getting threatened to be kicked out of his apartment, you know, not being financially stable and not good with his money, having these grand plans but can't really, you know, doesn't really have a plan to really pull any of it off. He's got a girlfriend named Beth who's about to go to Australia to do anthropology work, which is also correct. Yeah, they switched her out from leggy blonde to African American. Whoop-de-doo. I don't fucking care. I don't care. They got her. Her name is Beth. She does the same work. They were going to get engaged. They get into a really big fight. Blah, blah, blah. That's all I need. I don't need everything else. I don't need all the details to be exact. As far as like what the character looks like and things like that. Like this guy is not what I picture Yorick, but I don't care. They got the character right. He's playing him right. He is a bit dense. I mean, he's broke and proposing to his girlfriend. His sister, Hero, played by Olivia Thirlby, is like, you can't afford cheese and you want to get married. So it's like he was a fuck up in the comic. He's a fuck up here. Now we got Diane Lane's senator, who is going up against the president of the United States, who's a gun enthusiast. Look, they didn't make him look anything like our former president, or Mr. Orangeface, pig fucker, but he's along those lines. he's along those lines. He kind of bullies Nora, played by Marin Ireland, to pick up a gun. Hey, you even ever picked up a gun? But he's not an absolute caricature, but he still has those leanings. And she goes on the news and tells the world basically he's a misogynist, and I don't care. Again, somebody will say that this is just trying to side with the left, that the world, but look, the movies and television have always leaned left. Comic books have always leaned left. For the most part, okay, the majority of it leans left. So if you're surprised, stop being surprised. There's plenty of your awful procedural shows to watch. You can always go watch the millionth season of NCIS or some butt fucking stupid show like that. There's like all the Hallmark Channel you can watch, where you can watch all the wholesome crap. The Lifetime Channel, where you can watch women stabbing men to death. There's something for everyone. So if you don't like this, or you think everything out there is just too left, you know that there's stuff out there for you. You just gotta find it. It's probably on CMT. Wow. Can't believe I said that. Well, we also get to see a little bit of everybody's lives. Nora's got a nice family. Olivia Thirlby's, hero. It's going to be weird calling her hero. Because the only other hero I know is the hero from Heroes. And it's spelled differently too. But the character of Hero, Yorick's sister, Jennifer's daughter, is having an affair with the guy that she runs an ambulance with. And, and so everybody's got their things going on. Agent 355 is supposed to be getting a promotion to work next to the president. And there's going to be this big thing going on the next day with the president. So Jennifer's going to face him out. There's a dinner the night before where everybody gets together, and everybody gets to kind of throw their cards on the table a little bit here. I kind of feel like that scene, honestly, was a little, I don't know if it was that necessary, except that they really want to establish characters like Jennifer and Nora and Annenberg Tamblin's Kimberly and some of our other side characters. I think they want to flesh them out a little bit more, because that's one thing that is different, is we get to see a lot more of some of these characters like 355 and what they were doing right before all of this goes down. We get to see them witness some of the weirdness that was starting with the animals are starting to die. Or they see the deer. Nora finds the deer that's dead. Jennifer's assistant sees the rat. That's Kimberly sees the dead rat or mouse. The rats that go rushing her Jennifer's assistant down the road, that was really creepy. And it does a good job of setting all that up quietly. It's a quiet premiere, and then all of a sudden just shit goes sideways all of a sudden. And what I also like is that Yorick's at the beginning of this, and he has a scene with Beth, and then he just disappears for the rest of the episode. And it all focuses on our female characters and their POV and what's going on. And all of a sudden, everything starts to go wrong. So, Olivia Thirlby's Hero, she's having sex with the guy that she's with. He says that he left his wife. And, everything is great and romantic, and she's all happy, and he's happy, and he leaves, and he sees this dying dog. It's blood coming out. It's really sad and really well done. Nobody likes to see animals in pain, but that, I have to say, that was really well done for what it was. How they got that dog to do all that, like with the blood and standing still. Good job. I don't care how they did it. Well, the phone rings when he's out taking a whiz because they were having sex in the ambulance. And it turns out that it's his wife. And she's wondering when he's going to come home with diapers. So he lied and did not tell his wife, but still told her he did. He's like, I am going to tell her. It's not, I got a kid and all this crap. Look, it's her fault for carrying on with somebody who's going to have these kind of issues. It's his fault for being a piece of shit. These kind of situations are complicated, and as of right now, I don't really have a side to take in it, They start fighting. The fight slowly escalates, then once it amps up, it gets out of control fast. He attacks her. She pushes him. She takes an oxygen tank or some sort of cylinder tank and hits him with it and ruptures like his whole neck, and he bleeds out and dies. And she just sits in the ambulance with him dead. Again, pretty... So we cut to the next day. She's still in the ambulance. Nora is getting ready for work and trying to get her kids ready. Her daughter's up. Jennifer's about to start a big, meeting with a whole bunch of important politicians. And the president is there. And then a cop shows up at the ambulance. And he's about to knock or try to open the door. And all of a sudden there's a thud. And she opens the door and he's dead. And then Nora goes in to see why her husband and son haven't gotten up out of bed yet. And they're dead. And then the president gets a bloody nose. And then he's just dead. And then everyone just starts dropping like flies. And it's just chaos all of a sudden. And I love it's just quiet. It would be how it would be. Everybody'd be confused. And then, like when the president drops, it's like, oh, no. But then when everybody drops, that's when shit gets really real. And everybody's shaken. Nobody knows what to do. People trying to save the president's life. Nora is freaking out. Her husband and son are dead. Her daughter's coming in the room. She's like, get out. Olivia is walking the streets watching people bump into her and die. Cars crashing because the person behind the wheel is dead. Homeless people getting hit by, cars going by. Jumbo jets falling out of the fucking sky. Meanwhile, Diane Lane is handling things pretty well. She isn't panicking like everybody else. And we cut to Yorick and Ampersand sleeping on their couch. And then again, that just reminds me of so many days where I just wake up on the couch, in the mid-morning, huh? To while everything is going on. I remember that happened the day of 9/11 where I was just asleep on the couch. Just kind of, turned on the TV. Why is that building on fire? Yorick here wakes up to basically a nightmare like that. But he has no idea. And he's the only man left, but doesn't know yet. And you can just hear the chaos outside. And honestly, what I really love about this is how understated it is. How it's just kind of running through people's lives. Kind of slice of life almost. Just almost like you could, if you didn't know what was going on, you'd say, why is this kind of there's nothing really happening. We can see this on any show. And I almost recommend, I can't tell you now, but I hope a lot of people go into this absolutely blind, that don't know the comic, that aren't big dorks like us, that they're wearing Cosmic Ghost Rider t-shirts and, walking around with frickin' Phil Coulson badges and fucking batarangs in arm's length. right? So, Why the Last Man's first episode, man, just really has me hooked. We're going to be watching these back to back, and I'm going to be trying to get all three of these out in pretty quick succession today because this is all I want to do today. So anyway, and I'm not going to do my usual thing because I want to hit it. So if you like what I'm doing here, you liked this review, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, and the bell for all notifications. Otherwise, I got to get back at it so I can get to you guys episode 2 and 3 before the end of the day. So have a great night. We'll see you on episode 2. Bye.